everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, of course, if you can see in the title, it's Life of a Reseller. Week 1, it's kind of like a little recap. I want to do a little bit of these videos, maybe turn it into a little bit of a series and kind of go through my journey as a full-time reseller for about a year, just a year. That way people can have an understanding of what it's like to be a full-time reseller. Being a part-time reseller was fun, but there's really not much to it. But when it comes to jumping into full-time from part-time, there's so much more. And I didn't realize how much more work it was going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and recap that for you. So I started last Monday. Today is, gosh, I don't even know what today is. I think today is like the 16th or the 15th. It's Monday. So last Monday I started full-time, and I immediately tried to dive in, and I had taken measurements the night before of certain things. So I photographed everything that I possibly could on Monday. And since I had those measurements out already, I was able to list those things. I also went sourcing that day, and one of the areas that we source around here is on Mondays they do Military Monday, so people who are military affiliated get 25% off on each item that they purchase. So I do that. On Tuesdays everybody gets 25% off, and then Thursdays like firefighters, and I don't know the other ones because I'm not associated with that at all. But it's a really neat thing that they do. Their prices are actually really reasonable, and of course you have Goodwill. We have colors of the week here in our Goodwill, so whatever color is the little barb is, it's like 50% off that color. So on Monday I was able to go sourcing. I think I only went to 2 places, and I'm very selective about what I pick up now because I've been doing this 3 years. Even though I've been doing it part-time, I've been doing it 3 years, so I kind of have an idea of what sells and what doesn't. And the good thing about being full-time on Monday was that I was actually able to source. I didn't have a 5-year-old with me, distracting me every 5 minutes. While I loved hanging out with him, I absolutely loved hanging out with my babies. It's easier to do your work when you're able to actually focus on your work. Unfortunately, last week I experienced horrible lower back pain. So I don't know what happened. At some point from Sunday night to Monday, the back pain started, and I was like, okay, this is fine. I've had kidney stone problems in the past, and I've had kidney problems in the past, so I thought maybe this is what it was. But the next morning on Tuesday, I woke up and I could barely move. I could barely do anything. And so that kind of put a little bit of a hold on my reselling thing. Luckily, I could share and cross list and stuff. So Tuesday, reselling took a little bit of a back seat. I was alternating hot and cold and stuff like that, so I couldn't really do too much. Nevertheless, I was able to make sales on Monday. I was able to make sales on Tuesday by doing just what I was doing. On Wednesday, my back pain got a little bit worse. It was like I still couldn't really do too much. And then by Thursday, it started letting up a little bit. And Friday, it was kind of the same. Saturday and Sunday, it's whatever. Today, I'm feeling a whole lot better. Still not 100%. I still feel a little bit of back pain, but So throughout the entire first week of reselling last week, I was experiencing lower back pain, which really hindered my full-time reselling ability, which really stunk because I was looking forward to doing a lot more than I did. I was still able to put in more hours of work than I had when I was doing full-time. So I worked from 9 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And the reason I have those hours is because all of my kids are dropped off at school by 9 a.m. because the oldest one, he goes to school at 9. That's when his school starts, which is bizarre because every time when I was younger, it didn't matter what age, when I would go to school, we would always start school like at 7:30 in the morning. So it's weird to me that kids start school really late here, and they get out a little bit later too, so that kind of puts a little bit of damper on certain things. But anyway, so I wake up in the morning and I still have to take care of my 5-year-old. He still, can't feed himself properly, and I still help him pick out his clothes and stuff. So from, I want to say, about 6:30 to 9 o'clock in the morning, there's no reseller related anything going on, except for when I wake up and I just do like a quick closet share of like certain things on Poshmark. So I'll do that. And then from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, I am sourcing, I am listing, I am photographing, I am measuring, I am doing all of those things. If I'm not doing any of those things, I am on the computer for about an hour. So from 9 to maybe 10 o'clock in the morning, I am cross listing. It's much easier to do it on the computer than it is to do it from my phone. I do allow myself to take 20 minutes for lunch, and 20 minutes only, because it's just me. You know, I don't need to be feeding other people or anything like that. I know you're really not supposed to do this, but I'll be sitting there eating and I'll be like probably sharing my closet or something as I'm eating. It's just, I'm doing what I'm doing. Those are my hours that I'm putting in. Those are my full-time hours. Anything from 3 o'clock to the time I go to bed, it's whatever I can get done in that amount of time if we don't have anything going on. But after that, I am 100% dedicated to my family. You know, like I said, unless there's some downtime, they're doing homework they don't need help with, or, you know, we're done eating dinner and we're just chilling and there's really not much else that needs to be done, because I have to do stuff here at home. I have to clean up and stuff, you know. My husband helps out a lot. My kids are old enough, well, the older two are old enough to take care of a lot of chores and stuff, so I get a little bit of help in that department as well, but still, you know, life goes on. I am planning on taking the weekends off as far as full-time goes. I was doing that part-time and I was still making decent sales part-time. So I didn't see like a huge decrease or anything. This past weekend though, Saturday and Sunday was a terrible sales weekend for me. I think it's because I was still coming off of being in pain from lower back pain. So I didn't really get as much done. I still put in a lot of work as far as like cross-listing and stuff. But the crazy thing with these reselling sites is sometimes they pick and choose when you're going to get, you know, the best sales. Sometimes for a week straight, I'll get fantastic sales on Poshmark, and then the following week I'll get maybe like 3 sales on Poshmark, and everything else will come from eBay. So it's just, it's crazy. I never get like consistent sales from one avenue, and you know, I do cross list a lot of my items. So that also is probably a reason why. So there's that. So last week I was able to make a sale every single day, Monday until Thursday night, Friday morning. And then after that, there was no sales. So I don't have any packages to send out today on Monday, and it happens. And there was a part of me that was a little bit upset about that. You know, it's because I'm putting in all these full-time hours. Why am I not reaping the benefits of that? But then I have to understand that there's some, you know, resellers out there who can go a day or two without making sales, and then the next day they have like double the amount of sales that they did, you know, 2 days before. So it all depends on how much time you put into it. It's still a consistency thing. I need to remind myself that this is my first week doing it, you know, or actually I'm going into the second week doing it. It's not like you're gonna make money overnight, you know, lots of money or anything like that. You still need to be able to put in the hours, put in the work, and you'll be able to reap the benefits of that later on. So that's pretty much what happened last week with my first week as a reseller. Nothing too crazy, nothing too spectacular. I found a few brands that I haven't found before, and that's because I was actually able to look. So that was really fantastic. I found a new spot to source while my daughter is doing cheer in the evenings. So if I don't get to source during the day, there's my dog again. If I don't get to source during the day, she goes to cheer a couple of days out of the week, and the place that I can source at is right next to her little cheer area. So I think that's fantastic. I don't need to go too far. I do have to pay a little bit more at that area, but I'm willing to sacrifice that because that's where I found some of the better brands that I've ever found. So I hope this video was like a little bit helpful. I mean, I am a mom first and foremost. I have 3 kids. I have a husband whose schedule is completely crazy. I still run the house. I have a dog. I do all these things. I have volunteer work. I have a volunteer job. So this is pretty much my thing. I love reselling. I've loved reselling part-time, and now that I'm doing it full-time, I love it even more. I know right now the past 2 days kind of like shocked me a little bit and put things into perspective where you're not always going to have the best sales days. So that was kind of a good little wake up call. You know, I don't want to like get a chip on my shoulder and be like, oh, well, now I'm full-time reselling. I'm going to make all these sales. Sometimes you got to be a little bit humbled. So I hope this was helpful to anybody who's wondering what it's going to be like to go from part-time to full-time. Everybody's different, experience is different, unique to them, to their location, things like that. The one thing that I really don't like whenever people have bad sales weeks or days or whatever is somebody coming in and saying, well, you're selling crap. Because I've seen that everywhere. Nobody said that to me, but I see that a lot when somebody's like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm putting in the same amount of work and stuff. And then here comes some reseller with a huge chip on their shoulder and they're like, oh, you're just selling crap. I hate that. I hate that so much. It isn't that someone is selling crap. It's just, it's not selling right now. And maybe they need to try different things. And instead of saying you're selling crap, how about you give them a little bit of constructive criticism and help them out a little bit so they can figure out what exactly they should be on the lookout for. Don't necessarily hold their hand, but say, hey, well, this is what's in season right now, or this is whatever. Can you kind of help out a little bit? So I kind of want to do videos about that as well. Like what would typically sell during this season, blah, 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 blah. And I might do that. I don't know yet. But I'm definitely going to continue this life of full-time reseller thing for a year and see where I go and how far I go from a year from today. So whatever day this is, it's September 16th. September 16th. Yes. I just remembered that because I looked at the computer this morning and I was like, oh, it's halfway through the month. All right, so I hope this video was helpful. I hope it wasn't too much of rambling on. And yeah, I hope if you start to full-time resell that it's a great journey for you. And thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.